Hello, my dear listeners. My name is Kishore Ganesh, and in this episode of the Vocal About Visuals podcast, I'll be reviewing the animated phenomenon that is sweeping the globe right now, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, featuring the voice talents of Chris Pratt, Anya Taylor Joy, Charlie Day, Jack Black, Keegan Michael Key, Fred Armisen, Seth Rogen, Juliet Jelinek, and others. I watched this film on April 15th, 2023, a Saturday. The reason why I'm mentioning that day specifically is because that also happened to be the Pokemon Go Community Day featuring quite a useful Pokemon, Togetic. Now, I, a grown man, played the Pokemon Go Community Day, which happens to be the intellectual property of Nintendo, for about 2 hours and then watched a movie about another Nintendo IP, Mario. Now, there are a couple of things to unpack here. One, I have no qualms in admitting that I had insane fun indulging in both of these activities, and I'm sure a large number of people who would be listening to this will agree with me on how much fun they are. And if you have someone in your life who disparages you for playing Pokemon Go or watching animated films, ask them this: what are these so called adult activities that are out there that can deliver as much fun as these to the entire family? Adulthood is already soul crushing, and that's why, to escape the banality of it, people have invented discovered substances that you can ingest to numb the pointlessness of it. So, if you have something in your life like Pokemon Go or animated films or comic books or novels or whatever, don't let those ignorant people give you a hard time, and instead play and proclaim that you are a fan of these things proudly to the world. It is much better than rehab or boredom for sure. Sorry about the existential nature of my previous point, but I just wanted to register that here. Next up, heading on to Nintendo, as I said, me, a grown man, can still be entertained thanks to Nintendo's IPs. And that speaks for two things: the quality of those IPs and the nostalgia. And in case of the Super Mario Bros. Movie, the same two things are yet again the talking points. The Mario universe is huge and has been traveling alongside the lives of millions of kids and adults since its launch. And with this movie, they have landed the craft, that is, the conversion of a video game IP to a movie, safely but not softly, because the film has already grossed $500 million worldwide. Unlike so many movies in the past which didn't get the soul of the IP and instead just used the name/brands in a film, there seems to be a really good amalgamation of the soul with the script of this film. There are Easter eggs, homages, storylines, gameplay sequences, and of course, in some cases, dialogues straight out of the game, which will obviously be appreciated by anyone who has played the game because it reminds them of a happy time, most probably from their childhood. I'm not even talking about nostalgia here. I'm just saying when you see someone understand the core of something you have loved, it speaks to the quality of the effort, and that usually does inspire praise and joy. The writing of the film does skew towards pleasing a very young demographic, say 7 to 14-year-olds, basically kids still very much innocent and in their childhood. But I'm guessing because of the Pixar effect, it also adds a few elements that target the adults in the audience. Example, Lumily. That said, I'm not saying this is a kids' film with no fun for the adults. All I'm saying is that don't go expecting a Pixar film. One of the biggest, if not the biggest strength of this film is its casting. Jack Black, Chris Pratt, Anya Taylor Joy, Seth Rogen, Fred Armisen, and my favorite, Juliet Jelinek, are superb, with Juliet as Lumily getting the most epic lines in the film that involved adding some existential dread to a kids' movie. My next favorite performance is from Jack Black, who benefits from the script offering him so much and which he absolutely gorges on and simultaneously elevates because, well, he's Jack Black. Anya is a very memorable Princess Peach, and after the performance and her look during the premiere, I don't think I can imagine anyone else but her as Princess Peach. If there is one serious gripe I have about the film, is that I think Luigi was underutilized. He didn't have too much screen time owing to how the plot unfolds. This hopefully gets corrected in the second part. On the whole, the Super Mario Bros. Movie is perfect for the entire family, from the newest members of the pack to the oldest. It is not going to leave you reminiscing about it too much post watching, but during the time that you actually are watching it with your family and or friends, you will be entertained, and it will definitely coax out a whole bunch of laughs and chuckles from all of you. Once again, my name is Kishore Ganesh. This is the Vocal About Visuals podcast, and thank you, my dear listeners, for your time and for listening. Please do give this podcast a follow on your preferred podcast platforms and on YouTube. Please do give my socials a follow at Podcast Plural on Twitter and Instagram for hearing my thoughts about films, Arsenal FC, and the memes that I'm starting to produce at a regular cadence. Thank you.